Rance Howard, Ron Howard's father, was a star, co-starring.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't know that about McGraw.
He's
you learn
multi-talented.
something new.
Yes. So what do we have at the theaters this weekend that we should be out watching?
Well, here's the thing. There's a movie coming out this week called Incarnate, which is a horror movie, which they did not show to critics. So, we kind of know what that means. The genre has a built-in audience, so some people will go see it. But we also know this is the time of year where we're going to get movies in limited release as well, so they can qualify for award season. Yesterday, the Broadcast Film Critics Association, which has turned out to be a very good barometer for what the Academy is thinking as well. And, I think that probably has to do with, the Academy's so big and so many people vote on the Academy Awards, and it's very similar with the Broadcast Film Critics Association. They're both filled with people who love movies and love filmmaking, so the sensibility is very similar. And, my three favorite movies of the year, and, there are a couple I haven't seen. I haven't seen Silence yet, which is the Martin Scorsese film. I haven't seen Marshall the Miracle Dog.
You need to get to see that.
For instance. So there are a few things I haven't seen yet, but, I love La La Land, which I've seen twice, so it hasn't come out yet. I love Arrival, which is out yet. And I also love Moonlight, and I don't know if you've seen any of those movies. They're three terrific movies, and it just so happens that yesterday those are the movies that got the most nominations from the Broadcast Film Critics Association, and I expect them to be in play during the Academy Awards. Now, having said that, there's a performance that will probably get recognized by the Academy, and it's Natalie Portman as Jackie Kennedy, and the movie Jackie comes out this week. And, I could probably talk to you, Jay, a little bit about Fellini and neo-realism, because I can't really talk to most talk show hosts about that because they don't know what I'm talking about. They might fall asleep. And, they're familiar with more the surrealistic style of David Lynch. Mm-hmm. And this movie melds those two styles, and it's very interesting because those two things don't necessarily always go together, although they can and they have. But it's visually, it makes for a really great aesthetic and like a very compelling narrative. And also Natalie Portman as Jackie Kennedy is fantastic. It drags in some places, but this is a story that takes place a week after Kennedy was assassinated. She agrees to do an interview with a journalist to give sort of a tick-tock of what transpired. And you really see this woman fiercely fighting to protect her husband's legacy, to protect her family, to mourn the way that she needs to mourn. And they tell the story through that famous, they flash back to that famous tour of the White House that she gave, that live tour.
Right.
And then they also switch between actual flashbacks when she's telling the journalist the story. And they show something in this movie that we haven't really seen in such graphic detail, and it's the aftermath of the assassination, and it's Kennedy with half of his head blown off in her lap, resting in her lap, and we haven't really seen it depicted that way. And it's kind of jaw-dropping, and it's kind of shocking, and at the same time, not necessarily that particular part, it's also strangely beautiful. So it's a movie I like a lot. It's not perfect, but it's 4 out of 5 stars.
I'm looking forward to that. La La Land, I have not seen. And she said it is not out yet. I saw the previews for it, the trailer in the theater. Interesting.
Yeah,
film.
I'm going to say this about La La Land. To me, La La Land is the top contender for Best Picture. Moonlight is going to be up there. Moonlight's it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Academy voters. It's not necessarily a mainstream film. The subject matter is it's a little difficult. It's also stylistically, it's not mainstream either, but it is a gorgeous, thought-provoking, incredibly moody film, and there's nothing else quite like it. And it's going to turn a few people into stars as well. La La Land, on the other hand, is a super accessible movie, and it's an original musical, and it's about Hollywood. And
Mm-hmm.
you know anything about the film industry, you know anything about the Oscars. Those people love movies that are about them. And this movie is about them. You know, you have a struggling actress and a struggling jazz musician with original music, and Emma Stone has it like that Anne Hathaway and Jennifer Hudson moment. You know, that Jennifer Hudson has in Dreamgirls with I'm Telling You, and Anne Hathaway has I Dreamed the Dream in Les Mis. She has that moment. The difference is she's singing an original song that nobody has ever heard before, and it's compelling, and it's moving, and it's amazing, and there are those tight close-ups on her face where you can see every muscle in her face moving, and you can see the truth in her eyes, and it's just so it really, really, really grabs you, and I'm quite certain she's going to win Best Actress at the Oscars at this point. And it's such a great movie. I mean, and it's a throwback. It's like a Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers type affair. Even though I admit those were not movies that I loved growing up, and I still don't. But I love Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone in a movie like that.
The trailer, typically I kind of pay only half attention to the trailers as they run, but this one jumps off the screen at you.
All right, I'm coming to St. Louis. Me, you, Kelly, McGraw, we're going to sit down and have a movie night.
That sounds wonderful.
I would love
Absolutely.
that, David Blaustein.
Let's do that.
David Blaustein, ABC News, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
It's a pleasure, Jay. Take care, Kelly.
Take
Bye.
care.
It is 7:29 here at KTRS.
8:29.
8:29.
You and McGraw.
It's 29 after.